dad is a pastor and my grandfather is a pastor.
This is okay. So this part, I'm very interested. So you grew up religious and sheltered. You said I also grew up religious and sheltered.
So here we are.
And here we are. Yeah. Look at this. How do you feel about it now? Are you still religious in any capacity?
No, not like that. I am. What do you say? I do believe in a higher power, but I don't. But not really. Not like a
personal,
like a list of. Yeah. No, I think that all religions, the most ancient and the newer, they're all just mankind's way of trying to personify what they see around them. And I think that the idea of God or enlightenment is just the interconnectedness of all human beings and nature. And so once I was outside of the box of salvation and hellfire and brimstone, I couldn't, I still get moved by the music, just because the idea of forgiveness is a beautiful one, but the idea of having to be forgiven for sins even though you were born into it, I think
that's a tough one.
I think
that's a big pillar of the Christianity.
Absolutely,
the guilt
it
and
is.
Shame aspect,
right? Is
a rough one.
I just don't subscribe to that anymore because for so long I felt so shitty about myself that I was bad. Every thought I had, every feeling that I had, I thought was bad and wrong. And then when I felt like I was moved and I was on the right page with, not living a righteous life or anything like that, but where I thought I was connected with Jesus and I was living and breathing and believing the way my family had taught me to. Yeah. Right? And then they were shitty. And I'm like, wait a minute. Hold on.
Yeah.
And then I moved out to California and met a Jewish guy that was the nicest person. I was like, wait, so you mean what you say and you live by it? You can't be bad, Yeah. And I felt like I got the Holy Ghost in the backseat of a Honda Civic looking at the Pacific Ocean for the first time.
Yeah.
So that changed my perspective on all of it. Like, I do like some of the ideals, of love.
Yeah.
But that's just not.
But love kind of contradicts the shame part of it, or at least how it's internalized or how it's kind of taught. I mean, I feel I watched I call it, if a TikTok is educational or inspiring or whatever, I call it reading TikToks, not watching them. But I was reading one and this girl said that the voice of God is giving power to your own insecurities. Like, it's like a religion how did she say it? It was more eloquent than that and made sense. Whereas what I just said did not. Gives power to your insecurities?
Well, religion is giving God or giving someone, oh my God, what is it? It was basically like your conscience, you're taught that it's the voice of God, but that voice is only there to pinpoint what you're doing wrong or what insecurities you have. And then you try to fight that. Yeah. Like like we're breaking free from the chains, but it's chains that we put on ourselves first. Like we had to lock ourselves into the chain and then be like, please take these off of me. Yeah. Which is fucking crazy.
Dude, that's on point.
Yeah, well,
because as a little kid,
stuck me.
Because as a little kid, I really took it to heart, and kids do.
Yeah,
and
right.
You really feel you're a sinner. That's who you are.
Yeah,
that's a definition of your identity.
Yeah, absolutely. And if you speak against it, then them's fighting words. Like people have gone to war for it. Like I can't even I can't even talk to my family because my grandmother, like, they all are praying for my salvation. Like, they think I am in the miry pit. I'm in the depths of it.
I'm sorry they feel that,
but I feel more. I feel better than I ever have during the time in which I was there.
Yes.
Like, I feel more connected to spirit than I did before.
For sure. And I don't want to like parse, because a part of me thinks the rejection of it is the dogmatic teaching of it, as opposed to maybe they just got Christianity wrong, or they got like what it means wrong in terms of how they're teaching it.
Yeah, because it's about power.
Yeah.
And it's patriarchal.
Yeah.
You know, like it's...
Yeah. It's, patriarchal.
Yeah, I mean, like, all the way through the Bible, women have no rule. Like, they have all the rules. They have no rights. Like, and the ones that they do write about, like, they had to be allowed to do or think or, you know, whatever. Yeah. So, like, that alone, I think is wrong, you know?
Yeah.
But the way that people in the South believe it.
Yes.
As if it were, you know, literal.
Mm-hmm. And not just the South.
I did. Yeah, I mean, there are everywhere,
I'm from Michigan,
but it ain't.
Midwest even. Yeah. There's definitely a presence there. And, you know, there's a lot of good in it, too. It's just what I come back to is like what you said, exactly what you said, because the, you know, it's this fighting, this like restlessness of like, oh, I want to be good, but I can't be good all the time. Oh, I jerked off. I'm going to hell. Like,
I jerked off. I'm going to hell.
Sexual shame, integrating that in a healthy way. It's virtually impossible with the purity. So it's like a lot of that. And it was just, I just had so much anxiety. And meanwhile, I was still having fun. And then I'm partying and hating myself for partying.
For after, right?
Yeah. And it wasn't until after I started doing comedy where I just said, F it. And it kind of gets to the name of the podcast. Like, I'm just so at a loss with everything else. I'm going to put myself out there. Yeah. And that was very hard for me. But once I started doing it, and it felt like very freeing, and it felt like the friendships that opened up to me and the people, and it worked. And then they were shitty a little. They were like, ooh. And I was like, that's wrong. Like, if this doctrine is right, I should be feeling shitty. Like, this shouldn't work in the world. Yeah, right. If that doctrine's right. So that was the same epiphany I had. I mean, and I don't know about God. Like, I'm still kind of agnostic about it, and I want to believe, but certainly not in the program of the child.
Right. I don't believe in organized religion.
There you go.
Of any sort of them, really.
Yeah.
You know, I'd rather go with the principles of Fern Gully or some shit, you know, like.
It's weird, too, because there's so much more to life, too. Like, life is the interactions and stuff.
God,
there's
just
more.
Culture alone, like, like even Jewish culture being so different than. Yeah. It's still Abrahamic or. I don't know. Idiot. But, you know, like.
I was tracking.
Yeah, I just. It's beautiful and it's interesting, but I'm like. It's so different still. Like, I just don't understand. Yeah. I forgot. I lost my train.
But in actual life, though, how many times are you talking to somebody and you have to, like, get down, okay, what do you believe about this tenet of this faith? Or it's same with politics. How often do you actually talk about an issue where
too often people are talking about it? I'm like, I don't give a shit.
Who gives a shit? Most, like, go to the grocery store, like, you know, live your life. Yeah. Have fun. Talk to people about themselves. Like,
well, but this is part of it.
90% of the time.
This is part of the opening. Is like sharing conversations and experiences with people that are not the same as you. Yeah. You know, that's how my whole perspective ever shifted. Yeah. And like.
If you're gonna talk about having open, honest conversation, like, my way's right.
My way, right. How can my way right if you, another person that I admire and I love and I respect and I see and believe in, just because yours is different or your, you know, like how you get to where we're going is different than mine, doesn't mean that you're wrong. And how arrogant would I be to believe that? I can't, like. Yeah. Once that changed. Well, actually, it was also part of me moving in the 8th grade. Like, I went to school in South Carolina, and it was a very poor, very small, tiny, like, all the kids rode the same bus from kindergarten to 12th grade, you know, like.
So you knew all the kids all the way through.
Everybody knew everybody, and everybody was in everybody's business, and, like, it was
toxic and problematic all the time. And then I moved to North Carolina, and I ain't never seen that many different kinds of white people. Like, it blew my mind. I was like, wait, I learned.
So your world opened up. You had like a small.
Yeah, but once it's open, you can't get back in the box.
Dude, I know.
Even though I tried to like conform and do what I thought was right. And then I was in my prayer and meditation and like also like trying to achieve whatever the church goal was, and it never felt right.
This was 8th grade when you started.
Well, 8th grade is where I met all these different people, and my friend Dorothea, it's Christian, but it was Greek Orthodox Christian.
Yeah,
and she like opened my whole world, and then her mom was so different than any of my family. I was like, whoa, this is crazy,
Yeah, for sure. It is weird when your world opens up too, because I feel that same way about my hometown. Michigan's where I'd lived. I moved to North Carolina in 2014.
Okay.
And then moved to Atlanta. And then
wait, how old are you?
I'm old, dude.
You're old, dude?
Yeah, I'm 34.
I'm about to be 37, bitch. Get out. Get out. He said I'm old, dude. I was like, what?
I'm old.
No. Okay.
I didn't know you were that old.
You didn't know I was what? That
37's not old. I'm sorry. 37's not old.
Yeah, I know. No. It's like,
but I moved
50's the new 30.
Exactly, dude. Yeah. I'm going on TikTok to go anti-aging stuff. Like,
oh, yeah.
Yeah. Moisturize,
Yeah.
But yeah, every time I moved, I always felt like things open up, and then you go back to your hometown and compare, because you visit every year, and you're just like, things are different and
everywhere, and they're all different, and then it's all the same. Like,
true.
But it's so much more fun to get to see and meet. Like, that's one of the things that I love about comedy the most, is like, even though it doesn't always pay that great, I have been to so many places and met so many different people, man.